The Nuggets come in after last night's 161-133 defeat at the hands of the Washington Bullets. Orlando was on the road last night in Charlotte, and the Charlotte Hornets snapped their 11-game losing streak, beating Orlando 109-100. A tie ball game with 5 minutes left. Charlotte won it going away. The Nuggets have never lost to the Magic as they face them for the second time this year. Denver won in Denver back late November, 124-113. The Nuggets trailed by 8 going into the fourth quarter and outscored Orlando 39-20. That is Nick Anderson, who fires in the first one. Michael Adams tries for 3 and touches nothing but net.
With all the injuries that are taking place in the Nuggets camp, Al, you have to be a little concerned about Michael. Of course, he has those chronic bad hamstrings and told us this morning that they were a little sore after last night's game.
Adams going 35 minutes for 32 points, raising his average just under 25 a game. And tonight he goes up against Scott Skiles, and if Adams is motoring, should be able to beat Skiles throughout the evening. He tries for 3 again. And Greg Kite gets the rebound.
What Skiles is going to do, Al, is back off of Michael. He's not quick enough to stay with Michael's penetration, so he's going to make Adams beat him from the outside first.
Skiles knocked away by Adams. He dives and makes the pass and hits the assist. Catledge, the leading scorer at 18 a game, gets the bucket.
And in the last 10 games, he's scoring at 23 points per contest.
Skiles, who has been the subject of trade rumors. Chris Jackson has the ball. He's one of the Nuggets who's comfortable with this floor. The SEC championship is here, and Jackson nails his first jumper.
But once again, Chris had his foot about 3 inches over the line. I don't think he's comfortable yet where that NBA three-point line is.
The Nuggets with the pressure. They throw over the top. Anderson with a great talent. Who touched it last? The referees now conferring it will be Orlando ball. Tonight you also see Nick Anderson, who starred with Illinois, and his teammate Marcus Liberty, and they'll be knocking heads throughout the evening. Skiles. And there is Scott, long distance. Dennis Scott, who only played 7 minutes and didn't score in the game against Denver.
Scott sure knows where that three-point line is.
He is at 54 this year, more than anybody, even more than Michael Adams. Joe Wolf getting his first start as a Nugget with Blair Rasmussen out. Only Anthony Cook and the 14-year veteran, 36-year-old Walter Davis, the only Nuggets to have played every game to this point. If Orlando felt that the Nuggets with just 9 men weren't going to press and trap, they are mistaken. Remember the Sacramento game when Denver only had 8 players. A behind-the-back block by Wolf. Anderson at 6'6", trying to hawk Michael Adams. And Skiles on the break. Anderson finishes it. And it's 8-2 in favor of the Magic, who have won 5 of their 12 games at home. Joe Wolf goes upstairs for the follow. Wolf has really been coming on for the Nuggets, but it's basically been at the small forward spot. Tonight he's back at center. But tonight again, it's against Greg Kite. Catledge, who is an inside player. He had 30 against the Nuggets in their first meeting. Michael Adams behind the back to Wolf. On the run, it is blocked. Scott at 6'8" takes it off.
Great fake by Dennis Scott going down the middle of the floor. The fake to Scott Skiles on the right-hand wing. Michael heads just a little bit and gave Scott the room to the basket.
3 minutes into the first quarter, and the Magic lead it by 6. Kite, who grabbed 15 boards against the Nuggets in Denver, and another takeaway by the Nuggets. Cook keeps it alive. He has Wolf, but can't get it to him. Adams does. This could be a big night for Joe Wolf, whose 12 points last week against Portland was his season high.
And a great example right there why Michael is averaging so many assists. He knows where everybody is on the floor. That ball barely touched his hands before it was over to the open Wolf.
Cook reels it in. Anderson steals. Loose on the floor. Catlett goes down. Skiles. It counts. And the foul.
Take a look at Catlett. Goes down on the floor to retrieve the loose ball over to Skiles. What a competitor Scott Skiles is. The foul by Joe Wolf, and now Skiles will go to the free throw line. You talked about Scott being the subject of some trade rumors, and it really makes sense. He's a great competitor. He could help a team that's contending for an NBA championship, and at 6-23, the Magic sure aren't going anyplace.
Skiles doesn't mind the rumors because the team that apparently is trying to acquire him was Detroit. And he, of course, started Michigan State. Adams gets his first bucket. Here's Skiles back the other way, and the dish to Catlett. Skiles in his last 14 games has been averaging 21 points and 9 assists, playing 41 minutes per.
You see how much of a cushion he's giving Michael Adams, though, on that outside shot. Michael needs to start hitting a couple of those.
Basket does not count. A kicking violation against Joe Wolf. And I tell you, with Michael Adams shooting 28% from the three-point area, Skiles' strategy not bad. Scott goes through, stays with it. Nuggets reaching out, tipping it away, but not going after it.
That's a 24-second, or excuse me, a delay of game warning against the Magic, and that's something that Coach Westhead's been after the officials all year to keep the other team from hitting the basketball as it comes through the net.
Liberty, nice shovel to Cook. And Skiles on his way again. Magic lead it by 9. He delivers it to Scott for 3.
What unbelievable range Dennis Scott has. He shoots that three-pointer like it was about a 15-foot jump shot.
Wolf comes back, and he's the high man for the Nuggets with 6. A delay game now called against the Nuggets. 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Nuggets are off the next 2 nights. Then in Detroit Wednesday and in New York to face the Knicks on Thursday before returning home Saturday night against Charles Barkley and the Philadelphia 76ers. Anderson to double team and the travel.
This copyright program is presented by the authority of the NBA and the Denver Nuggets and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the expressed or written permission of the NBA, the Nuggets, and KWGN is prohibited.
In the starting lineup tonight for the first time as a Nugget, Joe Wolf replacing Blair Rasmussen, and Wolf leading the Nuggets in scoring with 6. Magic have scored 7 in a row and have taken the 20-10 lead. Now this is going to be a call against the Nuggets, against Joe Wolf. So Wolf, who can't get into foul trouble tonight, has his second personal foul, and we still have 6:50 left in the first quarter.
Coach Westhead just shaking his head. He doesn't know what to do, whether to put Mills in the game already or let Joe Wolf play with the 2-personal.
Catlett with Wolf and Cook there. A tough assignment for Anthony Cook. Catlett's going at 6'8" and 230.
Well, he doesn't have much range, but he's one of the better small forwards posting up in the NBA.
Adams in traffic. Anderson comes over to make the sensational block. Illinois' Mr. Basketball out of high school and starring at the University of Illinois.
Take another look at it. Chris Jackson kind of nonchalantly with the jumper from the corner, and Nick Anderson puts it out the tunnel.
Now it's Anderson's former Illinois teammate, Liberty, who is stripped. Here is Anderson coming on, and coast to coast. Wolf pulls it away. Up it goes to Jackson. Being watched closely by Anderson. Jackson past the basket. Cook fakes and can hit. It will be Denver ball.
Those obviously are the shots that Anthony Cook's going to have to make. He was right underneath, pretty much uncontested, and he kind of shot the ball from the side instead of having his hand right under the ball.
Jackson giving up about 6 inches to Anderson. He's on the line there and is short. Adams, who has tried a couple of threes so far. Liberty lets it fly. Wolf regains for the Nuggets.
4 rebounds already for Joe Wolf. He had 9 last night in Washington.
Nuggets ice cold here at the start. Trailing 22-10. Skiles, who has hit 25 3-pointers this year in 65 attempts. Now ducks in. Rejected by Cook. Taken off by Liberty against his former teammate Anderson.
Good job by Marcus Liberty that time. He was in the middle of the floor, but he had Chris Jackson on the right-hand wing, so he kind of bared over to the left and had the path to the basket.
Skiles works it in, a block by Cook. And now the Nuggets roughing it up. Michael Adams, here's the 3. It goes off of Greg Kite and out of bounds. 4.5 left in the first quarter. The first substitution for the Nuggets. Walter Davis, coming off a 20-point performance last night in Washington, replaces Marcus Liberty.
And Walter was one of the bright spots last night. Unbelievable shooting night. 9 of 14, most of them from the 18 to 20-foot range.
Former New Jersey net Jeff Turner, number 31, has replaced Greg Kite. Turner, a first-round pick out of Vanderbilt, played 3 years for the Nets, then went to Europe and returns here in his hometown. Steve Javy and Paul Westhead. Westhead, who has not received a T this year. Javy, who has that quick whistle. Wolf over Turner, and Joe Wolf rising to the occasion. The high man for the Nuggets with 8 points to go along with those 4 rebounds.
I don't think Jeff Turner can guard Joe Wolf on the low post. The Nuggets ought to explore that matchup a little more.
Scott. And on the run, Davis into the hands of Adams, who splits the seam and loses it. Kicks it out of bounds.
Ball went right off the right knee of Michael Adams and hit the basket support.
Tim Legler getting ready to come in for the Nuggets. Turner has a nice soft touch, but not there. Denver gets the ball. Long and lean, Jerry Reynolds, a 6-year man out of LSU, reports in.
A couple of substitutions for the Nuggets. Tim Legler in for Chris Jackson, and Terry Mills checks in for Joe Wolf. Nice start for Joe tonight.
Legler played 10 minutes against Washington. There's Mills, swish. And Terry Mills has really shown a nice shooting touch around that 15-foot range. A soft touch for a big man.
And that makes you wish that Terry had come in and gotten the full benefit of the training camp and the early workouts, because he's made great progress the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Former Nugget Otis Smith gets his first shot. And there's a foul. Edwards grinding it away inside for his 8th point.
Well, again, these young Nuggets are going to have to learn to put a body on somebody. You can't let Terry Catledge get inside.
Well, Mills,
he is a strong young man.
Mills tried to do just that. Catledge played all but 1 minute last night against Charlotte and scored 24, along with 11 rebounds.
The idea is, though, Al, to put the body on the man before he gets the rebound, not after.
It's a 9-point lead for the Magic. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Walter Davis lets it fly. Catledge, the inside trap. Into the hands of the quarterback, Scott Skiles. Scott Skiles showing you a Michael Adams delivery in traffic. Skiles averages 13 points a game. Mills, same spot, different result. Smith upstairs for the rebound. Catledge. Now the elusive Reynolds dumps to Turner. It does not count. Offensive foul on Turner. Nuggets return home Saturday night against Charles Barkley and Hersey Hawkins and the Philadelphia 76ers.
And I think it was important now that the Nuggets got off to a good shooting start tonight, but just 29% so far here with the first quarter almost gone, and the Magic a blistering 55%.
Nuggets have made 8 field goals, 4 of them by Joe Wolf. Adams remains on the floor. He has gone the distance here in the first. He's teamed with Tim Legler in the backcourt. Davis, Cook, and Mills up front. Davis goes to work on Reynolds. A nice spin. Otis Smith, who can really fly. Stripped by Legler, and he can't hold on.
That was a nice defensive move by Tim. He just reached in and knocked the ball away, but then he couldn't get the handle on it before it rolled out of bounds. But Otis Smith with great leaping ability, and Legler gets the hand on the ball before Otis gets a chance to get in the air.
Legler averaged 25 a game in Omaha, the CBA. Turner goes in, and he was talking about the difference here, how fast everybody is in getting out on you. He was 2 of 9 last night against Washington. Nuggets can't get him off the boards. He has 11.
Well, you don't have many role players in the CBA, Al. Everybody's trying to score points, trying to get to the big show. But Timmy's going to find out people up here are interested in guarding as well as playing offense.
Davis over Reynolds. Soft touch by Walter Davis over the long, outstretched arm of Jerry Reynolds. 31-18. The Nuggets are trailing. Smith, a second-round draft pick of Denver. Adams again for threes. So Michael hits his first from downtown. His three-point streak extends to 24 games in a row.
And now Skiles is going to have to take another step closer to that outside shot. Maybe Michael can make some penetration to the basket.
Final minute of the first. Catledge digging in. That was Terry Mills going up for the block. There is a foul. No goaltend is called. But the foul underneath is Michael Adams.
Right there, Michael reaches in. They said the ball was still going up, and you can slap the ball off the backboard. You can't pin it to the backboard, so a good block there by Mills.
Michael Adams tonight appears as if the gas tank not exactly full. For Michael, maybe 3/4, but you could tell the difference here in the first.
Well, we saw the same thing last week when the Nuggets had back-to-back games against Sacramento and the Heat. Now Michael will sit down, getting his first rest, along with Anthony Cook.
This is the 4th game in 5 nights for the Nuggets. Sacramento, Miami, then the day off, then Washington, and tonight here Orlando. Catledge, a first-round draft pick of the 76ers, was traded along with Moses Malone to Washington in that deal for Jeff Rulin and Cliff Robinson. Played 3 years in Washington, and many were surprised when he was left unprotected and taken by the Magic in the expansion draft. Otis Smith of the Nuggets sold to Golden State in his 2nd year with Denver, and he too was left unprotected and grabbed by the Orlando Magic. Smith, who of course starred in Florida at Jacksonville, a great leaper. He's had severe problems with the knees, but still, as you can see, can get up there. First year as a Nugget, Smith played only 28 games because of knee injury.
And that's what you want to see from Chris Jackson. That time he faked the outside jumper, kept his dribble alive, and a good move to the basket.
Starting the 2nd quarter, and Orlando leading 35-23. The Nuggets with Jackson and Legler. Mills, Davis, and Wolf steps back in. 2 seconds to shoot. Legler fires and is hammered from behind. So Legler will get to the foul line, fouled by Otis Smith.
Well, that was a smart play by Otis Smith. Legler had a very difficult shot. The 24-second clock had about run out, and Otis takes Tim Legler off the hook by hitting him in the back of the head, and Legler will go to the line. First 2 free throws as the Denver Nuggets.
Legler out of LaSalle. Last year he played 11 games for Phoenix. This season in training camp with Minnesota, one of the last cuts there. Makes 1 of 2.
Told us he was shooting 54% for the Omaha Racers, and that's outstanding when you consider where he shoots the ball from.
Because he's never shot under 50%. Going back to his college days. Legler clears the boards. Nuggets are trailing by 11. Paul Westhead shouting off the bench for Chris Jackson to push the ball. After the Washington game, Jackson had his career high of 32, and Westhead said in the locker room following the game, Jackson was doubled over with exhaustion. And still in the last 5 minutes of that game, even though the Nuggets were blown out, Jackson was pushing the ball as fast as he can. Westhead feels that Jackson is getting to that level that he wants in this system. Stepping through gingerly is Smith, ripped down by Mills. Davis tips it back to Jackson. The crowd wants a travel. Joe Wolf runs it down. Scrappy Joe Wolf. Jackson again. So Chris Jackson firing away is now 2 of 10 from the floor. The poke by Davis. Hawked. Joe Wolf again picks it up. Wolf all over the place. Legler waited too long to get the shot. The Nuggets shooting percentage dismal, 11 of 39. Terry Mills has picked that up pretty quickly. He doesn't allow a player to get too easily to the basket.
Well, you like to see that from a young player because you can't just give points away. He makes the players go to the free throw line and earn it as long as he can stay in the game, not get in serious foul trouble. That's not a bad idea because remember, Jeff Turner will think about that the next time he goes to the basket.
Jeff Turner at the line, shooting 2.
As you see, the Orlando Magic play extremely hard every night for Matt Guokas. Just at this point in their second season cannot match up skill-wise and have had their problems in close games late. They just don't have anybody to finish it, although Dennis Scott will be that kind of player.
But you know, you hear rumors, of course, Coach Harder already gone in Charlotte. You hear rumors about Rothstein in Miami and Musselman in Minnesota, but nobody ever says that Matt's in trouble down here. I think everybody recognizes he's done an outstanding job with the talent that he's had.
One of his great qualities, besides experience and knowledge of the game, is patience. And that has to be on the top of the list with an expansion team. And, of course, brought here by President Pat Williams, who then led the Sixers. That is Michael Ansley getting into the flow.
Ansley out of the University of Alabama, and an outstanding collegiate player there. A double clutch, the foul by Walter Davis. Ansley still able to get the ball up to the basket, and now a chance for the three-point play.
Alabama's all-time scorer and rebounder. Yes, even ahead of T.R. Dunn in those categories. Ansley did not play last night against Charlotte, so you know he's got to be storming out here tonight. Ansley at 6'7", 225. Listed as a power forward, but perhaps not big enough. And there going upstairs is Cook.
Great communication between Walter Davis and Anthony Cook. Cook was being overplayed on the low post. He swung to the baseline and had the lob.
Sam Vincent checking in and quickly putting it up. One of the biggest stories here locally is the competition between Skiles and Vincent for more playing time. And those two, of course, were teammates at Michigan State. Walt Davis draws the foul on Vincent. Sam Vincent, who this year had signed that multi-year $1 million deal. 3 years, getting over $1 million a year. Not bad for a guy who's picked up in the expansion draft. Walter Davis makes it 37 straight over the course of the last month. And Walter rising in the ranks. He is now number 7 in the NBA foul shooting after a moderate start Walter, of course, last year shot 91% and was third in the league. Near steal by Anthony Cook. Now it's Reynolds off and running. Ansley blocked. Ansley stays with it. And the Magic have been most successful when they're able to knock it down inside.
Over the top, Magic.
That shot by Walter Davis hit the rim and bounced over the backboard, so it'll be the Magic ball side out of bounds.
You see Jerome Lane in street clothes sitting on the bench for the Nuggets. He shot around before tonight's game. We'll hear from Jerome at halftime talking about his injury, when he thinks he may return. Liberty against Anderson, the two close friends. Liberty trying to get in the flow. He has but a bucket tonight. Joe Wolf scraps it again, double teamed, and he is pushed out of bounds. So it will be a foul. Bob Delaney making the call against Nick Anderson.
Joe Wolf has been all over the floor tonight. That was his 8th rebound already. Thing you don't like to see that the Nuggets are starting to do is, if they don't have the shot off the break, Al, a lot of standing around. Watch the players right now, other than Chris Jackson with the ball. Not a whole lot of movement offensively. There's a back pick by Walter.
Vincent, not even looking, got a piece of the ball. Too nonchalant. Walter Davis gets the foul. It is his second.
Sam Vincent with a pass that wound up under the basket. A nice recovery by Reynolds, and right there the foul on Ansley. He'll go to the free throw line. That might be another reason that the Magic are looking to move Scott Skiles. That would take away the competition and give the job to Sam Vincent.
And for substitution, number 14, Michael Adams.
And Vincent, with a big contract, would be harder to move than Skiles. Skiles also many injuries over the years. A question of how many more years he has. Ansley hits the 2 foul shots, so he has quickly gotten into the flow. He averages 5 points a game. He has had 6 in the last couple of minutes. Vincent doing some bumping. Vincent, who was a first-round draft pick by the Celtics, was a rookie on the 1985-86 NBA championship team. He was traded to Seattle and on to Chicago and left available in the expansion draft. Stay there, says Steve Javie. 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. The Orlando Magic on their home floor, leading the Nuggets by 14. Last home game was Wednesday. The Magic beat Houston in that one. 109-103. Anderson had 31. Blindsided by Adams. And a goaltend on Vincent.
And once again, the quickness of Michael Adams comes into play. Sam Vincent a little nonchalant with the dribble, turns his back, and Michael's gone to the other way. The goaltend and the basket counts.
Sliding through was Reynolds. And it's going to either be on Wolf or Cook. It is on Joe Wolf, and Joe Wolf gets his 3rd foul. And the crowd is not applauding the fact that it's 3 fouls on Wolf, but Scott Skiles getting ready to come in. He is the favorite here. That would be a very difficult trade for the Magic. Jerry Reynolds, first-round draft pick by Milwaukee, where he played 3 seasons. Then he was traded to Seattle for a 2nd-round pick. And was left open in expansion and taken by Orlando. Davis comes in, and Anthony Cook checks out of the lineup. 5 rebounds for Cook, along with 2 points. And now Scott is in, and Vincent goes to the bench. Reynolds at 6'8", 205. Great anticipation. Still trying to find his role in the NBA. Great athletic ability. But Davis fakes him out, but misses. Skiles with Anderson, Reynolds, Ansley, and Kite. You don't even know that Greg Kite is on the floor. 7:15 left in the second quarter. Reaching in is Marcus Liberty, and Liberty gets his. Oh no, they call it on Jackson. That is number 1 on Chris Jackson. Long rest on the bench for Dennis Scott, who in the first quarter rifled in 9 points.
Nick Anderson at the line.
Nick Anderson going to the line, and outstanding player, but Nick Anderson just a 61% free throw shooter, and again, we've seen this night in and night out. The opposition getting to the line much more than do the Nuggets. And of course, it's very simple. The Nuggets rely on the perimeter jump shots. They don't take the ball to the basket like these other teams do.
First ever pick of the Orlando Magic. Anderson, who came out of school early. The 11th pick in the first round last year. Averaged 11 points per ball game as a rookie, making the big adjustment to the off guard. Chris Jackson just cannot find the hoop. 2 of 11. Another steal by the Nuggets. 9th turnover for Orlando. Davis walks in. That gives Walters 6 points. His shooting has really come around. 58% over the last 2 games. Jackson. Can't believe there wasn't a foul. Reynolds still with it. A 4-on-1. And the lead grows to 17. 6:15 to go in the second quarter. Michael Adams, the only starter for the Nuggets here tonight of the regular starting 5. Skiles, he'll make it happen. Points off the bench in the second period for Ansley. This place will explode as Denver's called a timeout.
Magic shooting 50% right now for the game, and they are undefeated this year when they have shot 50% from the floor. The Nuggets, a woeful 28%. And I think the Nuggets, if they want to get back in this game, are going to have to start going inside a little bit more, because they certainly aren't hitting these outside jumpers.
Joe Wolf is the high scorer for the Nuggets with 8, but he is now on the bench with 3 personal fouls. Liberty gets away from Ansley. Anderson says no. Delaney says foul. Not a goaltend, but the foul on Anderson.
Nick Anderson showed you his great athletic ability.
Liberty goes against Anderson. And before the game, Marcus talked about going up against his good buddy.
Me and Nick partially grew up in the city together, playing against each other, you know, through high school and everything. So it's going to be a big rival between us. You know, he knows what I can do, and I know basically what he can do. So we're just going to go out and just try to play hard against each other. Because I'm not going to back down from him. He's not going to back down from me at all.
Anderson not backing down on anybody after Marcus Liberty hits 1 of 2. Anderson comes back for the field goal, and he'll go to the line.
Anderson upset. He thought he had a clean block against Liberty, and he takes this ball to the basket hard. The foul goes against Terry Mills, and right there you see at the bottom of the screen Marcus Liberty grimacing a little bit. He came down funny on a foot, but he seems to be walking all right, and Nick Anderson completes the 3-point play.
8 points now for Anderson. Anderson pushing off on Davis, but gets away. And Walter Davis cans it. Walter spent this afternoon right here watching the Red Lobster Classic. North Carolina in the finals, beating Stanford. 54-35 in favor of the Magic. Dennis Scott jostling for position and is called for the offensive foul.
Fans here don't like the call, but right there, the slap of the arm. Legler wasn't pushing, just had the arm rested on Scott's hip, and that's the correct call.
Liberty fade away over Ansley. Member fans will be selecting tonight's Miller Lite All-Star of the game, and Miller will make a $100 donation to the Net Charity Foundation in his name. Six on the shot clock. Ansley, a fire plug at 6'7", 225. He didn't play last night, and he comes off the bench roaring. He has a dozen points all here in the second quarter, and the lead grows to 21. Kite out to Skiles. One bounce to Anderson, and he is fouled.
Great control here by Nick Anderson. Bounce pass by Skiles. Watch Michael reach in and almost knock the ball away, but Nick keeps it on the fingertips, goes under the basket, and you'll go right back to the line with a chance for another three-point play.
Last night, the Washington Bullets, who average 101 points a game, scored 161, a new franchise record. Tonight, the Orlando Magic, in this their second year, the highest total they have ever scored in a game. Incredible when you think of it. Only 135 points coming in to tonight. They have 59 already with 4:11 left in the first half. Magic's high for one half is 72 points. Skiles in the backcourt with Anderson. It's Scott, Catledge, and Kite up front. Scott weaves in, and a soft touch high off the glass. Dennis Scott with 8-11. Wolf back in the lineup. Swish.
And not to make excuses for the Nuggets, but when you realize the four starters that aren't here contribute about 70 points, 35 rebounds a game, that's a big hole to fill.
Uncontested. The Magic pouring it on. 63-37 is the score. Adams in the crowd. Legler for three. Scott again in a hurry. Legler back the other way. Kite waiting for Adams, who darts by him.
Number 32, Otis Smith.
Walter Davis reports back in. Marcus Liberty goes out. Liberty off to a slow start, as was the case last night in Washington. Came on strong when the game was over. Marcus ended up with 13.
Now this is the 29th game of the year for the Nuggets, Al. And remember, most of these rookies didn't play any more than that the entire college season last year. So there is a wall that a rookie will hit and has to play through that. We're only a third of the way through the season.
And there's another wall to play through of Paul Westhead's system. That foul was called on Legler, his first. See the numbers that Skiles puts up. He's the 8th leading foul shooter in the NBA, but misses on his first. He's had some big games this year. At 34 against Utah. Against Houston, 31 points, 17 assists. Real spark plug is the physical limitations. He's had back, ankle, knee injuries, but incredibly competitive and mistake-free. Illegal defense is called against the Orlando Magic. Magic looking for their 7th win in their 30th game of the year.
That call going against Greg Kite. Joe Wolf was way out at the three-point line, and Kite in the paint.
Nuggets trail 35-23 after one. They have been outscored 29-16 here in the second. Nuggets have not been held under 100 points this year. 101 is their low. And they have 39 points now with 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Wolf gets the step, and he has tied his season high of 12. The lone bright spot for the Nuggets tonight, Joe Wolf in the starting lineup with Blair Rasmussen going down. Foot injury sustained in the Washington game. And he becomes the 5th of the Nuggets starters to have A bad injury. The extent we do not know and will not find out. Blair on his way back to Denver.
Steve Traynor, the Nuggets orthopedic man, will look at it in about 5 days, and they ought to know more then exactly how long Blair will be out.
Joe Wolf, and he has 14 points.
Joe Wolf likes this starting stuff, doesn't he?
Doesn't care if it's a small forward or what. Otis Smith inside. A minute and a half left. Adams draws the foul.
Foul number 4, Scott Skiles.
It goes against Skiles, and now that Scott's up playing Michael a little closer, Adams is able to penetrate, take the ball to the basket, and he'll go to the free throw line now. He was in the act of shooting, but that's the 15th foul on the Magic anyway.
Number 30, Marcus Liberty.
Stay tuned for Nuggets halftime, brought to you by the Denver Post. What matters most to Nugget fans is in the Denver Post.
Michael's having an outstanding season, Al. It's a shame he's not getting more votes for the All-Star team.
17 now for Terry Catledge. Michael Adams, nearly 25 points a game, 13 assists, which ranks 3rd in the league, 45 steals, which is 6th in the league. And his point total is good for 10th, so he's in the top 10 in 3 categories.
Except he's not in the top 10 in All-Star balloting for the guard position. Dennis Scott stepped on the sideline. Nuggets ball. You don't like to take the balloting out of the fans' hands, but if Michael Adams isn't having an All-Star year this year, nobody is.
Final minute of play of the first half. Jackson is back in. Russ with a 2 for 12 shooting touch in the first half. Coming off his career high of 32. Liberty, right place at the right time. Gets his 2nd field goal.
Great move by Liberty. Caught the ball and in midair turned his shoulders, squared up to the basket, and laid it off the glass.
Jeff Turner. And the Magic have tied their all-time high points in the first half. And they will get the ball back. 72-47. Jackson looking for the assist. Mills. Larry Mills may have gotten away with a little push inside. Instead, he will go to the foul line. Jeff Turner commits the foul. It is his first.
Terry Mills at the line. Shooting 2.
Terry Mills will have 2 free throws, and then the Magic will have 17.5 seconds to try and break that first half point total. Mills up to 79% from the free throw line.
Last 5 games, Mills has been averaging 12 points, 7 rebounds per, playing 23 minutes a game. He has 4 points tonight, and now the Magic set a new team record for points and a half. They need 1 to do it. Skiles. And they'll just have to wait for another day. The crowd of 15,077 erupt a slow walk to the locker room for the Nugget coaches. They knew this could be a long night with Blair Rasmussen joining the list of the injured.
And there it is, 31% for the Nuggets in the first half and a blistering 56% for the Magic. Free throws are pretty even, but when you get to some of the other stats, all Orlando Magic, 11 difference in the rebounds, 9 assists for the Nuggets in the first half. The 3-pointers, Michael Adams has the one for the Nuggets, and Dennis Scott, the 3-pointers for the Magic.
Joe Wolf already has a season high. Adams 11 points to go along with 5 assists. The only 2 Nuggets in double figures. Kadlec, who had 30 the first meeting in Denver, leads the way with 17. Anderson with 13. Ansley came off the bench in the second quarter to score his 12. Joe Wolf, whose last year's season high was 19 points, and that came against the Nuggets. And he's up to 16 tonight. Filling in for the injured Blair Rasmussen. Scott Skiles, Dan mentioned the 14 assists. His career high is 18. He did that this year against Portland. Michael Adams scurrying out. There's Wolf, who fires. Cook pokes it away. What do you think Paul Westhead had to say to his team at halftime?
Well, you know, it would be easy to make excuses. You got 4 starters that aren't here. You're undermanned, but I'm sure he said, "Hey guys, we got to go out and we got to keep working. Good things are going to happen if you work hard." And he has to sell his players on that idea. They certainly can't quit.
Anderson, there was a concern that he might not be able to fit in as a shooting guard, more a small forward inside player, but he's hit his outside shots tonight. Skiles looking for another assist. 17 points now for Anderson. Adams has hit a 3-pointer tonight to extend his streak to 24. A foul inside.
When a player has that kind of athletic ability as Nick Anderson does, you can make him about any position you want to pretty fast. And Anderson goes way above the rim.
Inside on the inbounds, Adams hit Chris Jackson, who missed inside. Anderson, he's been in a little bit of a slump, but he broke out with 31 against Houston Wednesday, and he had 20 last night against Charlotte. Anthony Cook working on his inside game, and Anderson all over the place. Gets his 3rd foul.
His 3rd, first team.
Anthony Cook on the low post tries to make a move to the middle, but Nick Anderson right there, an obvious foul. Anthony will go to the free throw line. Anthony just a 55% free throw shooter.
Cook comes off a 30-minute performance last night. Jeff Turner is back in, replacing Greg Kite. 9 points for Cook last night. That was the first field goals he had scored in 4 games.
The reason Greg Kite's the center here, Al, is he's about the only man physical enough to play most of the centers in the NBA. But with Joe Wolf playing center for the Nuggets, then Matty Gukas could go with Jeff Turner, a more mobile person at center for him.
Skiles recovers. Here's Turner, stripped by Liberty, but the whistle. Matter of fact, Kite is the only Magic to have started every game this year.
His first.
Good pass inside, and Jeff Turner on the way to the basket, stripped by Marcus Liberty. 4 up means the full court pressure is coming from the Nuggets as soon as Turner shoots these 2 free throws.
.52 in favor of Orlando. Liberty cannot hold on. And now Liberty and Joe Wolf with some words as they run off the floor, up the court. It is Wolf guarding Scott. And underneath, Turner with Jackson. Can they get him the ball? Liberty blindsides him and steals. But dribbles off his foot and gets it back again. Come on, Jeff. Well, the prettiest play of the night for the Nuggets is a broken play. 78-54 in favor of the Orlando Magic.
By the time the Magic tried to get the ball inside to Turner, everybody in here knew of the mismatch, and Marcus Liberty a nice steal.
Skiles will claim that was a pass ripped down by Liberty, and now Adams off and running. On the line, swish, 2-pointer from Michael Adams. There's the arithmetic. 9 minutes still to go in the third. The Nuggets who have never led in this game. They trailed by as many as 26, putting together a mini run that has caused Matt Guokas to call a timeout to try to regroup. Cook gets a piece of it, but it is tipped in. They give the basket to Dennis Scott, the rookie who is averaging 12 points a game, but as a starter, scores a little more, 15 per. He saves it there. He has 13 tonight. Big problem Scott has had even through his college career is staying in condition. Tendency of putting on some extra pounds.
Another assist by Skiles, a pretty pass. He made the penetration, drew the double team, and Jeff Turner was open.
So is Michael Adams. Adams now with 17. Scott bumping with Chris Jackson. Turner, swish. Turner, last night against Charlotte, came off the bench in just 12 minutes, hit for 6 points and 5 rebounds. Michael Adams downtown, and he has hit the 20 mark. Turner has 11 for the Magic tonight. Now Scott at 6'8", posting low on 6-footer Chris Jackson. Skiles for 3. His 26th of the season in 66 attempts. And he's in double figures with 10.
Magic aren't afraid to take those three-pointers. In fact, for the year, they've taken 10 more than have the Nuggets coming into tonight's game.
Moving pick, Jeff Turner, and he gets his second personal foul. Matt Guokas cannot believe it.
Second team foul.
Walter Davis checking back in, and Marcus Liberty goes out with 5.
22nd timeout, Denver.
Nuggets have called a 22nd timeout as they face the second-year Orlando Magic. And Dan, the Magic taking a little bit of a different route than their expansion twin, Minnesota. During the expansion draft, those 7 players on the top picked in the initial expansion draft, and they are still here with the team. The others have gone in different directions. Minnesota has only 1 player left from their expansion draft, Tyrone Corbin.
And remember, when the draft happened, most people thought that Minnesota did a much better job in the draft than did the Magic. We've had a problem here. The scoreboard here in the arena has been wrong for the last couple of minutes, and now the 2 head coaches and the officials, Jim Boyle, the Nuggets assistant coach, on the far left-hand side of your screen, all trying to figure out exactly what the right score is.
Well, maybe they'll erase the board and start all over again. We had a problem last night in Washington that prolonged that one. 61 for the Nuggets with 7.5 to go in the third period. Nuggets have not been held under 100 points in a game this year. Jackson trying to find his shot. Only his 3rd field goal in 15 attempts. Jackson last night in Washington hit for 32. Had to take 32 shots to get it, but at least he did shoot 50% at 16 of those. Wolf cuts off Skiles, so he gets some help from Turner.
Almost unbelievable that you could attempt 32 shots and not get to the free throw line 1 time.
Jackson yet to get to the foul line tonight. Anderson looking for a hole. Scott for 3. That's his 2nd of the night. Gives him 56 for the season to lead the NBA in three-pointers made. Catledge racks up Joe Wolf. Catledge gets his 1st foul. And Wolf will go to the line for the first time tonight. Dennis Scott at 6'8" does it with such ease.
Chris Jackson had to go inside to help out, and when they kicked the ball back out to Scott, an easy attempt from straight on.
Scott actually has 203 two-pointers. He has made 77 of those, so he's shooting 38% from two-point range and 40% from three-point range. 19 points now for Joe Wolf. Scott heads off Cook. And Wolf helps out. Michael Adams all the way. And it's 22 from Michael Adams, of which 11 have come in this third.
And a turnover. The Orlando Magic, Jeff Turner, stepped on the line, inbounding the pass. Michael made a quick turn, overplaying Skiles. Now he's going to change the call. Now Steve explaining the situation to Michael Adams. And there is no turnover.
6 minutes, 20 seconds left in the third. Skiles in traffic, putting the ball behind the back, zigging and zagging. Dennis Scott using his size inside. It is 17.
That's amazing that a man can shoot that three-pointer as effortlessly as he does, and yet can go in and play on the low post with the big guys.
Points now for Kamloops. 94-67 in favor of the Magic. The Magic having a rare laugher. 5.5 still remaining in the third. You know, it's an interesting question. The Nuggets taking Chris Jackson on the third spot and Orlando taking Dennis Scott on the fourth. Doug Moe making the deal, who dug in love with Chris Jackson. But if Paul Westhead had been the coach at that time, you wonder if that may have been reversed.
Well, it's an interesting question, and we posed it last night to Coach Westhead, but he very diplomatically declined to comment.
Nuggets obviously looking for a number 2 guard who can shoot. Scott certainly showing tonight in the season that he fits that bill. Swept away by Mills, and it's 6-8. I may add. Michael Adams draws the crowd.
And the foul's going to go against Nick Anderson, and so Michael certainly hasn't quit playing. He's trying to get to the basket. That's the 4th team foul on Nick Anderson, and Michael 4 for 4 from the free throw line so far tonight.
Magic set for
Coming back in for the Magic, Otis Smith. And Anderson goes out with the 4 fouls and the 17 points. The only Nugget is not played tonight, Anthony Mason. Michael Adams missing his first foul shot after hitting his first 4. Adams at 88% from the line, so he's essentially in the top 10 in 3 categories, and now knocking on the door in the 4th foul shooting. And the door slams shut.
Fatigue. Yeah, those 2 misses attributed to fatigue, nothing else.
Nuggets certainly looking forward to the next 2 days off. It's not going to help as far as bringing any of the starters back. Now Rasmussen back in Denver to now have his foot examined. He's out for at least the rest of this trip. Todd Lichty on the injured list. Hopefully he'll return January 8th in Golden State. Landon Woolridge on the injured list, out for 6 to 8 weeks from the point of the surgery on his detached retina in the middle of December. Jerome Lane is on the trip, but as he said earlier, hopes he can play by the last game of this trip Thursday in New York.
Number 22, Tim Legler.
Foul on Legler, only the 2nd team foul, and so no free throws here. Otis Smith made a big mistake. He passed off instead of throwing the ball up to the basket. He would have had free throws.
4.5 minutes to go in the third. Al Albert along with the horse. And this will our first trip of the season into the Orlando Arena. The Nuggets come in with a record of 6-22. The Magic 6-23. 14th turnover for Orlando, but that has not hurt their effort tonight. Mills against Catledge, and Skiles clears the board and goes for three. Wolf grabs another rebound. That is his 11th to go along with 18 points. Inside 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
When Terry Catledge is allowed to catch the ball that close to the basket, that's about the only way you're going to keep him from scoring. Turner goes up to shoot, but then sees Catledge and dumps it inside. The foul is on Legler, and Catledge will go to the free throw line for two.
At South Alabama, Catledge led the nation in rebounds. With 12 a game, 5th in the nation in scoring, 26 per. Anthony Cook, who once led the Pac-10 in block shots, he's put a few up there too in the first half.
Joe Wolf gets a blow. He's got 18 points and 11 rebounds. Scott Skiles has just set a new Orlando Magic record with 19 assists, and he still has over a quarter to add to that total. 19 assists already tonight for Scott Skiles.
So much for the trade rumors. The biggest lead for the Magic, 29 points.
Well, they had the headlines on the sports section today. Skiles may be traded. I thought we just declared war. The headlines were so big.
Welcome to Expansion City. Michael Adams gets a rest. Goes out with his 22. And this is a slow night for Michael. Still with 22 in the third. Terry Mills has 6 points. It's 98-71 in favor of the Orlando Magic, looking for their 6th win at home against 7 defeats. Reynolds. Now Davis revving it up. Too hot to handle for Chris Jackson.
That's a very difficult pass to make because Walter and Jackson were on the same plane. Chris should have swung out a little bit and given Walter a better angle to make the pass.
The crowd acknowledging the record by Skiles. Turner having a big night. He averages 4 points a game. He has 13. Skiles now having recorded 20 assists. Quick feint by Chris Jackson. Jackson, who's been averaging 23 a game over the course of the last 6. He has but 8 tonight. It hasn't been because he hasn't gotten his shots. 16 shots, he's made but 4. Jerry Reynolds, one-time first-round draft pick of the Milwaukee Bucks. 102-73 in favor of the Magic. Remember, Magic's high point total in the franchise history is 135, and that looks to be a lock to be broken tonight. Walter Davis. What the Nuggets need right now is a little magic. Check that. A lot of magic. Two minutes, 12 seconds to go in the third. The leading scorer for the Nuggets tonight, Michael Adams, with 22 points. He is averaging just under 25 points per ball game. A matter of fact, only Michael Jordan in the backcourt at a guard position scores more points per game than Michael Adams this year. He's ahead of guys like Richmond, Drexler, Miller, Johnson, and Blackman. Three-point play for Walter Davis. His foul shooting streak now extends to 39 in a row, including 3 for 3 tonight.
Have to go back to before Thanksgiving to when Walter Davis last missed a free throw.
2 minutes on the nose to go in the third. Catledge in traffic, unable to hold on. Nice save by Smith, but to the wrong guy. Jackson from 20. Mills bumping off of Reynolds. Swish.
Terry Mills continues to show an awfully nice touch from the perimeter for a big man. Kind of a little fall away jumper, and he's hit that with amazing accuracy.
Skiles looking for another assist. Gets it. And it grows to 21 assists for Scott Skiles.
With this big margin and the chance to build on that record, we might not see Skiles take another shot tonight.
Legler for three, still trying to find his NBA range. Will he get an assist for this? Probably here.
Well, Reynolds did take a dribble, but you're playing at home.
Into the hands of Skiles. And there's another one. Keep in mind the NBA record, I haven't checked this, but I believe it's 29. Kevin Porter. And we will go to the record books. That's the case. Scott, a very good chance to be setting an NBA record tonight in most assists in a game. He has a whole fourth quarter if Matty Gukas elects to keep him in there. This time he takes it all the way, looks for the foul. And all over referee Steve Javie. I thought they were waiting for Skiles to give him the ball to set somebody up. Well, this is a magic night for Orlando.
It's about the only thing they've missed tonight.
Welcome back to Orlando Arena, where they are having a dance party tonight. Dancing all over the Nuggets. 110-80 is the score. And the story developing as we go into the fourth quarter. Orlando Magic guard Scott Skiles with 24 assists. And there is the mascot of the Magic, Stuff the Magic Dragon, who looks a lot like the Philly fanatic who worked the games. Pat Williams, of course, in Philadelphia. And he has brought down a similar looking mascot and similar inside and out. It is actually the backup to the Philly fanatic. He recruited him down here to Orlando. It's a new Magic record, and he inches closer and closer to the NBA record, and Scott Skiles is remaining on the floor for the fourth quarter. He is 5 short when you just think of all the great guards, the playmakers down through the years in NBA history. You may be seeing history in the making. That's 25 assists. Michael Adams is back in. When you watch the Denver Nuggets this season, you never know what's going to happen. Last night, 52 points by Bernard King. And now it is Skiles who is looking to put his name into the record books.
The way the Magic are shooting the basketball, he might get 40 assists tonight.
And he remains on there. Matt Gukas intent on seeing Skiles set the all-time record. Wolf looking for his first 20-point performance for the Nuggets. Denver with a record of 2-13 on the road, with victories in Charlotte and in Sacramento. Nuggets have also beaten Minnesota, Orlando, and Washington. Sacramento twice for their 6 wins. Otis Smith in double figures with 10.
Nice move by Otis. He penetrated the 3-second lane and a little spin move to get off the soft jumper.
Overplaying is Reynolds. And Anthony Mason, who's just checked in, denies Reynolds the basket and denies Skiles one more assist.
Another pretty pass, the bounce pass this time from Skiles. Reynolds had what appeared to be an easy layup, and Anthony Mason came over and fouled him. Reynolds to go to the free throw line. What do you think about this? If a nice pass like that by Skiles, Reynolds is fouled, but he goes to the free throw line and makes both free throws. Should you give him an assist then?
No, actually the referee was the last man to pass the ball to Reynolds. Jerome Lane hoping to get in there sometime on this trip.
Told us before the game he's hoping he can be ready for New York.
Skiles goes all the way. The Scott Skiles Show.
And the fourth personal foul on Cook. Everybody thought Skiles would pass it back over to Smith for the assist, but he took it hard to the basket. Joe Wolf gave him a little bit of the angle and the foul, and the three-point play for Skiles as he sinks the free throw.
Nuggets have had some difficulty this year with a guard spot defensively. As Liberty just walks in, Travis Mays had the career high 36. Sherman Douglas the career high 42. You go back to A.J. English in Washington. Came into McNichols at his career high 30, and now Skiles doing it with the assists.
Foul number 30, Marcus Liberty.
Well, you're going to see people have a lot of highs, personal highs, career highs against the Nuggets because they get so many opportunities. With the Nuggets shooting as quickly as they do, that's going to give the other team a lot more opportunities at their offensive end as well.
Otis Smith will get a couple of shots. He went to college here in Jacksonville, starred all Sun Belt in his 5th season as a pro.
Paul still teaching and instructing about all he can do with this young team. Tell some of his starters get back is trying to make something out of these situations. Always a learning process.
Well, that may have been Walter teaching and instructing. Adams keeps it alive. Michael Ansley digging inside.
And we talked earlier about pinning the ball. Watch this. Does Ansley pin the ball? That should have been goaltending right there. They give Mason 2 free throws, but an obvious goaltending call, or an obvious goaltending that wasn't called.
Anthony Mason wide at the shoulders at 6'7", 248 pounds. Was playing in Tulsa, where he was the CBA leading rebounder, 16 a game to go along with 25 points. He gives the Nuggets a physical player, an inside presence, and he'll get his most action here. Probably will play most of this 4th quarter. Ripped down by Mason, and he bullets it out to Jackson. Chris now 4 of 20 from the field. Adams has some room. And it's 26 for Michael Adams as he once again tops his average per game.
I'm back, Bobby.
122-87 in favor of the Magic. And, you know, it's surprising here in the 4th quarter, Skiles is only looking to score. He's now made a couple of hard drives to the basket.
Replacing Chris Jackson.
3 assists shy of the all-time NBA record. 26 assists so far for Skiles. And we have 9 minutes still remaining. Otis Smith showing the touch.
Sam Vincent must be excited about the turn of events here. Is his team up by 37 and he can't get off the bench.
Mason pushing away on Kite. And Mason has his 2nd personal foul.
34, Anthony Mason. His 2nd 14th foul.
Well, they're either finding out what Scott Skiles means to this team or trying to drive up the price. 7. And that's a rare one. Gets the assist with a pass to Greg Kite.
The block by Kite. Now they can't give him an assist there. Reynolds took 2 dribbles that time.
They announced the assist by Skiles, but that may have just been the PA announcer's judgment. We won't give that to him officially yet. But they did. You're right, he may have 40 before it's over, but I think he's going to leave after he gets his 30th. Dripping wet is Scott Skiles. Davis. 17 for Walter Davis. He's been putting some nice games back-to-back. He had 20 last night against Washington. There's the arithmetic. The Magic now just 7 points away from their all-time high in a game. Joe Wolf fires it ahead to Adams. Stripped by Skiles. He's ahead of the field, but he'll wait. And Scott Skiles has tied the NBA all-time record for assists in a game. That was number 29. Now we still have 7 minutes to go. Skiles not in the play here. Anthony Mason back the other way. Davis lines it up for 3. Every time he touches the ball, he gets an assist. The way things are going there, they still may give him one on that.
And Skiles just looked over at Matty Guokas and said, "Take me out of the game," and Guokas said no.
Crowd yelling, "Get it to Skiles." Skiles looks like he was just dunked in an aquarium. This place explodes. Skiles walks off the floor. They're the leaders among the category of assists in the NBA. Stockton, Johnson, then Michael Adams. Scott Skiles not even in the top 10. A matter of fact, he averages 7 assists a game, but after tonight, he may be among that group. You remember last night, Bernard King, who was ranked 3rd in scoring, had the 52 against the Nuggets. And after last night, he climbed over Barkley and Jordan, and Bernard King is now the leading scorer in the NBA. Skiles, after that brief rest, comes back on. The crowd well aware of what has happened. He needs one more to be the all-time leader for assists in a ball game.
But I don't think Scott was aware of what was happening, because he asked to be taken out, and as he went to the bench, Matty Guokas explaining to Scott, "Hey, you only need one more assist to break the all-time NBA record. I'm going to keep you in there till you get it."
Number substitution, number 45, Anthony Cook.
The Nuggets send in Anthony Cook. We have 6 minutes, 9 seconds left. 132 to 89, and many of those 29 assists will be going into the highlight reel for the Magic. In the hands of Skiles. There's no doubt about it that he's going to get it. It's just a question of when. Wants it so much he almost grabbed the rebound. Now it is Skiles, who shoots. 14 points for Skiles. Who looks like an all-world player tonight. Kevin Porter had the 29 against Houston back in 1978. It has withstood the test of time until tonight. Jackson guarding Skiles. Vincent now team with Skiles in the backcourt. Stay right there. It's Orlando ball. Down to 5 minutes and 11 seconds to go. Scott Skiles in his 5th season out of Michigan State. First round pick, 22nd pick by Milwaukee, went to Indiana.
And what a competitor he is. Remember the time that he quit the team? He was with the Pacers, and he didn't feel the Pacers were playing very hard. They weren't winning very many games, and he quit. Donnie Walsh had to go talking back into returning to the team.
And was picked up on the expansion list by Orlando. Oddly enough, Donnie Walsh has been in a constant search for a point guard. First basket for Sam Vincent. And at this point, Vincent tonight, I believe, has 29 assists less than Scott Skiles. The Magic have already scored more points than they ever have in one game in their 2-year existence. 136 breaks their old record by 1. Walter Davis has 19 points, and the crowd comes alive with the ball being handled by Skiles. 29 assists, has tied the all-time NBA record. Which Orlando Magic will be the trivia question of the guy who scored the basket to give Skiles number 30. And we're down to 4 minutes and 16 seconds. And Scott Skiles is getting more and more tired as this game goes along. They send that jersey to the Hall of Fame in Springfield. They're going to wash it first. 21 for Davis. He has put back-to-back 20-point games. Down to 4 minutes. Skiles handling the ball. Will 30 come here? A three-pointer. He can do no wrong. 17 now for Skiles. And the foul. They can do no wrong. 19 points for Jerry Reynolds.
Foul goes against Chris Jackson.
In second.
Tim Legler checks into the game. Walter Davis will sit down. The second outstanding effort in a row for Walter. 20 last night in Washington, 21 here tonight. But one of the few bright spots for the Nuggets on this road trip so far.
Worst defeat the Nuggets have suffered this year, 35 at the hands of San Antonio, 144 to 109. Jackson nails a 3, his 11th of the season. Denver trails by 45. This could be it. And the foul by a diving Skiles. Up by 45 and diving after that ball.
Take another look at it. He almost comes away with the strip of the basketball, but he's called instead for the foul, and he has to be exhausted. He has to be taken out of the game 6 minutes ago.
He wishes he could get that darn assist just to get out of the game. I would think that Gukas might call a timeout to just give him a blow. Well, there should be a timeout coming up shortly once we duck under the 3-minute mark with 3:22 left. The Nuggets hit by a terrible rash of injuries, worst in the league this year. All of their starters. Michael Adams is back after missing the first 9 games to a hamstring. The other 4 starters are out. Orlando Woolridge, Blair Rasmussen, Todd Lichty, and Jerome Lane. Cook will get back to the foul line.
His third, 14. Anthony Cook at the line, shooting 2.
Couple of shots for Cook. Nuggets playing their 4th game in 5 nights. They are short in numbers and a tired team. The rookies getting their playing time, but perhaps maybe too much. More than they asked for. Coming down to 3 minutes. Skiles off the pick. Stolen by Mills. Looking for the pick and roll with Akers. Coming back is Reynolds, but Cook is there.
Been one of those nights for Chris Jackson.
And Reynolds cannot hold on. Next 12 and 15 for the season. Mills in double figures with 10. Down to 235. Skiles has tied Kevin Porter's record of 29 assists in one game. Vincent, way off the mark. I think the Magic getting a little tight when they get the ball now from Skiles. They want to get it for him so much. Chris Jackson, 5 of 24 shooting tonight. Skiles on the spin. Well, the question, you get an assist for that?
There's no way he should get an assist. The man takes 2 dribbles before he shoots it.
Legler cans it from the outside. That's Legler's first pure outside shot. Skiles still going for 30. And if he hits this foul shot, he'll have 20 points.
Everybody in the Nuggets uniform expecting Skiles to pass off, and as a result, he had a wide open lane to the basket.
19 points for Skiles. And he tries to round that figure off, and he does. So, not a bad night. 20 points, 29 assists. A heck of a double-double. Anthony Mason almost runs Skiles into the ground. A minute and a half to go. Mills will have another shot at it. Cook. And now Skiles with the time down to 1:15. Reynolds.
He's only going to have a couple more opportunities.
And that one doesn't go. As easy as the first 29 were, that's how hard the last one is.
His fourth penalty situation.
It looked initially like Ansley had an easy layup, and coming out of nowhere was Anthony Mason for the foul. Ansley will go to the free throw line for 2.
Little did Anthony Mason know when he was playing for the Tulsa Fast Breakers that he would be denying Scott Skiles sole possession in the record books. But there's still a minute 2 to go. And that would have been a real beauty to get number 30 with. 1 minute left. Jackson with 15, hitting several shots late. The crowd is standing here in Orlando. Skiles with maybe 1 or 2 more chances. It is called against Anthony Mason, racking up those personal fouls in a hurry.
I kind of admire this in Anthony Mason. I mean, there's a matter of pride as well, and the Magic have been going inside and making a joke of this game for basically the last quarter and a half, and Mason going to say, hey, you guys, you're going to score, you're going to go to the free throw line and earn it.
I tell you what, the only person I don't think who knows what's going on with Skiles now is Jerry Reynolds. Will somebody clue this guy in? Every time he gets a pass from Skiles, he puts it on the floor. Duca should get him out of there. But one reason he hasn't, scored 23. 13 in the fourth quarter. Well, Jackson putting some up late. Another three-pointer. All right, Skiles directing traffic. He goes to Reynolds again, who again puts it on the floor. It won't count. And Skiles now talking to Reynolds and saying, hey, just put it up. He motioned to Matt Guokas on the bench. The Magic are hysterical every time Reynolds gets the ball. He takes the assist away from Skiles. Hello, anybody home?
There's Reynolds again putting it on the floor. Now watch Skiles look at the Magic bench. Why didn't he shoot the ball?
25 meanwhile for Reynolds. Magic will get the ball back one more time. 9 points for Liberty. All right, everybody's standing. Here it is. It goes to Reynolds. He does shoot. Scott Skiles has broken the all-time NBA record. 30 assists in one game. He wants one more. Skiles scrapping for it, and will get to the foul line. The greatest night in the career of Scott Skiles, the 5-year veteran out of Michigan State, who was peddled by 2 teams before being picked up in the expansion draft by Orlando. And it's getting louder and louder. Skiles, 30 assists, the most ever in one ball game.
And that last play was certainly characteristic of the way Scott Skiles plays this game. He plays it with his heart and he plays it with his soul.
22 points to go along with 30 assists. Final seconds. Does it count? Three-pointer for Jackson, so he gets 21 in a rush to the end. But there's the story. Scott Skiles, some of the greatest guards in the NBA in the history of the league. The Kuzis, the Robinsons, the Archibalds, the Magics, the Fraziers. None of them have had as many assists in one ball game as Scott Skiles had tonight.
Well, he had a little talk with Jerry Reynolds and said, Jerry, quit putting the ball on the floor. And that was a very difficult shot that Reynolds finally hit for that assist number 30. You see Scott Skiles' reaction to being the new NBA assist